Hi everyone, and welcome to PHAMCAST. I'm Margaret Wallis Duffy, and I don't have my co-host that's normally here, Megan Burmester. She's on vacation, but I am so excited because it's Preventative Health Awareness Month. And I have yet another special edition of PHAMCAST for you today. You know, many of us and our families can relate to the struggle, the mental health crisis, as well as the addiction epidemic. And today's special guest that I have on has a powerful story. It's not just a difficult story, but it's also a story of hope. So I'm going to put my glasses on here and read and introduce to you the wonderful human being that I have in studio with me today, and then we're going to dive into this conversation. We are so honored to sit down with a true powerhouse of positivity, Les Schmidt, affectionately known as Mr. Energy by his students. With an inspiring career that has touched the lives of over 20,000 individuals across more than 80 organizations, Les is not just a speaker, but a beacon of hope for those facing the daily battles of mental health. Les has been on a remarkable journey, one that includes living with clinical depression and bipolar II disorder, while also achieving extraordinary professional success. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology from the University of Waterloo, whoop, whoop. A man after my own heart, a Bachelor of Education from the University of Western Ontario, and a Master's of Education from the University of Windsor, with honors to boot. His extensive academic and professional background is matched only by his deep passion for helping others navigate their own mental health struggles. In today's episode, Les is going to share his personal story, filled with both the challenges and the triumphs while living with mental illness. More importantly, he's going to offer us some, practical practical tips and real-world strategies for creating wellness action plans that support not just the body, but the mind, the heart, and the spirit. His approach addresses the essential elements of lasting distress tolerance, cognitive, emotional, social, and spiritual, and aims to inspire anyone grappling with their own mental health challenges to take charge of their well-being. So whether you're looking for support, guidance, or simply a dose of Les's infectious energy, this episode promises to leave you with a renewed sense of hope, tools for resilience, and a reminder that you're never alone in this fight for mental wellness. Let's dive in and welcome Les.
Wow, what an introduction. Hopefully I can live up to that. I know I will. And I first want to say thank you to you, Marg, because basically FAM is where it's at. And as I was looking at your videos on YouTube and connecting with you quickly yesterday, your leadership style is all about helping people. And what I know about cognitive therapy and cognitive strategies, that's a sign of foundational strength. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
So today I want to share the story of hope.
Yes.
However, realizing we often say to ourselves, it'll never happen to me.
Right.
Well,
yes.
Welcome to planet Earth.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is just realizing that as we support each other, as we are vulnerable, that there is a lot of help out there.
There is indeed. So let's, for those listening and watching, I want you to tell a little bit about your stories. You're sitting here, you do have a background. I read your incredible academic career and as a teacher and a coach, but talk a little bit about your story with mental health and why we're sitting here today.
Thank you for the opportunity. So, being the captain of the Junior B hockey team, the class valedictorian, teacher of the year, it doesn't matter. We're very human, we're very vulnerable, as I said. So the disease that I've had, and that's what it is a disease, has been with me all my life.
Right.
However, let's get right to what happened. So as I start to lose my cognitive and physical ability, I start to have dysfunction. I get a promotion to be the elementary vice principal at St. Peter's School. Before you know it, I've jumped into a situation and don't go for a job, everybody. Somebody tells you you're going to be great at. Just don't go for it. A huge amount of stressors, because I've been in high school for so many years. Let's recognize right now my secretary, Bernadette, who saved me. Because going from high school to elementary is such a shock. Great human being. I've run an hour and a half daily most of my life. Exercised strenuously most of my life. I started to cramp up. I started to lose weakness. I would come home and go to sleep at 5 o'clock. what the hell's going on with me?
Right.
I became a little paranoid at school. Is Marg watching me?
Right.
Who's watching me? So here's the mind-body connection people don't get.
Yes.
If the mainframe ain't working, the software aren't working. And these little neurotransmitters, serotonin as one, are there for a reason. So think about that. They're not connecting. So anyway, one night, I get on my knees and I say to my wife, pulling my hair, I think I have schizophrenia. I have gone to a point, because men don't complain.
Right.
Men don't want to
Man
say
up.
anything. Hey, man up and suck it up, right?
Yep.
I actually hate that saying, suck it up.
Absolutely.
And basically, I don't know what the hell's going on, so I collapse. I can't go in. So I go see my doctor, and he says, you have depression. I say, Dr. Peter, I'm not sad. He goes, that's not what it is. So, of course, I'm not just going to go on leave, though, am I? Of course not. I go back to a high school, Lourdes High School, and that's where I got the name Mr. Energy, from a class of girls.
Right.
Fantastic girls.
I love that.
And here, then, I'm sleeping on the floor, all right, trying to go to class, trying to fake it. Well, I finally collapse. And so now I'm in a situation where I have to go on sick leave. And I'm going to tell you, what a ridiculous feeling that all my life, the work ethic, the positive, don't give up. And you know what? It was very, very hard.
I bet.
But because I had a great doctor, and let's talk about my life partner for a second, Francie, who goes through this.
Yes.
And she goes through hell through these 6 stages, because I don't know if I told you, my last one was April 2024.
Just so
I just came out.
Right.
And guess what, everybody? That's okay.
Yes.
Because am I too loud?
No, you know
because
what?
you have to
you
be
have a
ready.
lot of energy.
Okay,
yes.
so I'll get to it. So anyway, let's get positive for a second. Well, I have to get negative for a second. Let's not be Pollyanna here. This is not Pollyanna. There's some, what I call, negative people out there, some toxic people out there, some toxic vampire, and some soul-sucking vampires.
Right.
I never had that. But the toxic people, you know, people are so stupid. Do you think that that's not going to get around what you said about me?
Right.
And so, saying that, I'm a big believer is I have to step up, I have to raise up, and I have to find myself.
Right.
Anyway, the boss who hired me, Bill, is his first name, man, he looked bad.
Right.
He hired this vice principal. It didn't last too long. Here he goes, just take care of yourself.
Just take care of yourself.
See, you don't forget these things. Like the note when I came home from my first episode, welcome home Les, from a French teacher. I have never, I'm going to tear up here, but I'm okay with that. Men should cry.
They should indeed.
And I'm okay with that. Sorry, I'm getting a little intense here.
No.
It's just my nature. So basically, I'm jumping around a bit. That's the way I think. I had Marcia call me during this time and say, are you coming to graduation in June? Broke my heart. Yes, I'm coming. Thank you. Anyway, and Mark, I want people to know this. I'm on the couch in a fetal position.
Right.
Think about that. And I can't move because the anxiety is choking me. My heart, this is the marathon runner.
Right.
It's choking me. My wife doesn't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. I've now started my vitamins, as I call them, but they're going to take 4 to 6 weeks to kick in. So here you are. Don't be grossed out by this, but I don't change my underwear. I don't shower. I don't brush my teeth. Because to stand up, I let it go too long, is choking me.
Well, and you know, Les, thank you for being so open and really vulnerable, because it's not easy to not only just share that, but to recognize, and the reason you're sharing, and I know this, is because there are many other men and women and children
Big time.
that are feeling the same.
Yes.
And there's a shame and a stigma attached to that.
Yes.
And you know, this movement is really about destigmatizing and having these real conversations and recognizing that you're not alone.
Yes.
And like you said, there have been instrumental people in your life that have helped you along the way, which is critically important. And that is the power in the message, right?
It's everything.
It is everything.
It is everything.
And so, you know, as a teacher, when you're back at school, so let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, you're a coach. How did you come back from some of these episodes? Let's talk a little bit about
That's
that.
an excellent question. So, Marg, as your body's going through this series of ups and downs and episodes, that's what it's called.
Yes.
One day, the light came on, and I thought, God, I'm going to be okay. I could walk 100 meters.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay,
I can do this.
It got better and better and better till you reach the point where you're feeling healthy again. But here comes the bipolar 2, unfortunately. You fly, man, to the sky. This is not healthy.
No.
You are so happy.
Right.
You fly to the sky.
Right.
Now, what's the good news of that? I come back to school. Students miss me, which is great. I'm coaching again. I'm going to do bipolar more in the next session. But you know what? You become your foundational self again. I have to go to this, please. Aww. This is Mary and Peter Schmidt. Let's get to this. My dad was kicked out of the house because he's marrying somebody of a different religion. Doesn't matter what religion. After grade 8, he had to go work in the factory. Couldn't become the mechanic that he wanted to become. Never complained. Greatest man alive. My hero, #1. Work ethic and core values.
Right.
I think with mental health, that foundation of, no, I don't think. I know finding your core foundational values is your foundation. When I present, I have my leg up and I say, somebody push me. I fall over and then I put my legs down and I go, now push me. That's what FAM does.
Right.
FAM gives you that foundation.
It does.
And here comes the Polish princess, my mom, tough as nails. I didn't know, but her father wasn't her father. I found that out later in life.
Wow.
Now, she was an alcoholic, and that's okay. It's funny, I do this anger model of step 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm brushing, 4, 5. You want to get me to 2, insult my mom and dad.
Right.
So a funny story, because humor appropriate is such a cognitive skill and valuable for what we're talking about.
Right.
As you notice, I'm going to get right to the skills as we go along because you have to. She's in an old age home, 90 years old, and I go in and we're talking to visit her a lot, and she goes, Les, I got to tell you something. That 91-year-old man down there was hitting on me. Watch my response. Where is he?
Yes.
Like just that love, that passion. She looks at me and goes, just sit down, I can handle it. And by the way, could I say to the crowd, go visit them today? Could you please go visit, because when I'm there, nobody is. Maybe Aunt Jane, maybe Uncle Joe. You will not believe the social wellness that you will bring to those people.
Yes.
So moving along from that, episode 2. Basically, I'm saying to my doctor, I hope I don't swear here, even though I was growing up in the hoods. No, my wife would, not be happy. I don't need that medication. What the hell? I'm a man. I think there's a song like that, isn't there?
Right.
I'm a man. Well, guess what? I started to fall down, but now I know. The muscles, the brain, the awareness is so critical. I know what's going on. I get to a point where, am I going to go off sick leave again? Oh my God, I don't want to. I get to my doctor, and for the only time ever, we get back on the medication, and it worked. It's not going to happen like that so easy again. I have to tell you, during episode 2, some of the toughest kids in the school, like, you got to be honest to be a teacher, man. You've got the behavioral, you got these wonderful, beautiful kids. I used to say, let's sing the song Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-C-C-T.
Right.
They were so gentle with it. They could see my weakness. Kids can smell it.
Well,
and they were so kind.
Or I would argue that it's not weakness. I would argue that kids have an incredible way to understand humility and feeling. Their radar can tell when someone isn't in their best state, in their strongest state.
You're right.
And I would say it's not weakness. So
that's so kids, well said.
Right? Those kids recognized,
that's so
and
well
that's
said.
really important. And humility is important in this whole process of dealing with mental health and addiction.
100%. So well said.
Yeah.
We go into episode 3, and I want to make sure I stay separate from my mind is firing all over. It's good to be firing, but I want to stay focused. So in episode 3, I'm going down again, and I'm saying to myself, damn it, I thought that was a one-time thing. It's not going to happen again. I've gone 7 years without it. The one thing I learned is I kept putting distressors on myself. Right. Coach this, coach 2 things, do that. I did the business club. I even helped the cheerleaders with whatever. And that's all well and good, but that's not good for me.
Right.
So I wasn't an advocate for myself, so I go down big time. And then to add to that, these vitamins stopped working. I built tolerance to it and acclimatization, and now I'm freaking out. Are we gonna go through this again?
Right.
There's a bit of victimitis coming in, but because of the way my parents raised me, I'm not just gonna give in and be a victim, but you're starting to feel it.
Right.
So basically, when you get the cocktail, and if people please listen closely to this, it's okay Now I have a psychiatrist for 25 years. I call him my psychiatrist. Right. Think about this. That man sits there and talks to people all day about all kinds of things, and he was awesome. And I think you'll find this interesting. I made up my own plan when I talked to him about this, and I said, let's go through the wellness plan. I think he liked it, he never said. But when you go through the wellness plan, such as how much alcohol are you drinking?
Right.
It really brought to the front, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
So anyway, we had to go up another one, and it takes time, and you're going through this. Oh my God, my life partner is there, my doctor is there, my psychiatrist is there, my best friends are there, her family is unbelievable. I'm okay. Lucky for me. What if you don't have that family? Right. And there's many people that don't, or it's dysfunctional, whatever word you want to. I think we're all a little bit dysfunctional, to be honest with you. I know I am. And so let's just say episode 3, we start coming up again. And I can feel, I have to mention one thing. Now they give you a medication to boost the medication. I don't think the name matters. My wife said, don't mention the name.
No, we don't need to talk about that.
Well, now I'm not sleeping. I'm walking around 2, 3 in the morning having a ball, because I was just in the fetal position again. I would watch funny movies at 2 o'clock in the morning. Make me laugh. The laughter, you know, I had to. And it's funny, right after around 9 o'clock, I started to feel good again. So we get to episode 4, I get a tumor on my parathyroid, things start to go whatever, and I go down. I started to medicate myself a little bit with alcohol. This is not a positive thing. I'm going to talk about it later, but guess what? Welcome to planet Earth. So the important thing is coming out of 4, I should have been off for a year. Oh no, we're going to throw right back in again, and then we go to episode 5, and I retired on sick leave. What a terrible, useless feeling at 34 years, but I want to tell you this. Well, I'm just going to say it the way it is. I don't want to sound. When the female teachers lined up to give me a hug, and all my friends gave me a handshake and stuff, at least I left with dignity.
Indeed. Thank you. That story, I mean, you've been through a lot, and everybody's story is unique, and yours is very powerful. We're going to take a break here in a second. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit about, what we can be doing. I know you do a lot of speaking about this with school boards, with Canadian Mental Health, and really trying to help people. Now what can we do? So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on PHAMCAST.
And I'll stop yelling at you.